In the first story, Her Father's Daughter, we learn that the Crane and the Lion clan are engaged in a dispute over the city of Toshi Ranbo and the grain-laden Osari plains. The Lion, noble and brave, relentless in battle. The Lion clan are the soldiers of the Emerald Empire, while the Crab guard against the demons of the Shadowlands atop the Caillou Wall, and the Unicorn roam Rokugan's borders and venture to distant lands. The Lion are the Empire's ferocious standing army. The Price of War is the story of the ascension of a new Lion Clan champion. It begins with the Samurai co-commander Matsusuko waiting to bring her contingent in to reinforce the champion, Akodo Arasou, in the campaign to liberate Toshi Ranbo from Crane Clan occupation. They had actually arrived some time ago, but Akodo Totori, the younger brother of Arasou, holds them back for the time being, while Suko grows antsy. Arasu's army is distracted from attacking the walls by a Crane diversion, enough to allow Crane Clan spearmen flood out of the city gates and, as the story describes, crash upon the Lion army like a blue wave over golden sand. When Totori and Suko finally join in, Arasou says to Suko, "You're late," to which she replies, "Your brother was holding back." Totori thinks too much. Arasou laughs. It's a difficult skill to learn, and hard decisions to make in warfare, when to hold back and when to attack. Totori finally calls his contingent into battle, as we just went over, and we see Suko's prowess in battle as described in the story, and the general strength of the Lion Clan warriors, which surpasses the physical might of almost any other clan bushi, save perhaps for the Crab. The Lion Clan in this battle manages to force the Crane into retreat. Although Akodo Totori considers pursuing them into the city and driving the Crane out by force, he then concludes that doing so could spark all-out war with the Crane and turn the Emperor's favor against the Lion. So in this world, gaining the Emperor's favor is a huge deal, and is essentially what the clans are always struggling for. Totori then considers that laying siege to Toshi Ranbo could essentially tire out the Crane and wear them out into surrendering to both save face and avoid a slaughter, which I admit would likely be a much better course of action than full-out massacre. But remember, the Lion are soldiers of the Empire, and they also tend to not want to win by means other than superior might, because that's their role. The Lion charge to take Toshi Ranbo back. At that point, Doji Hotaru appears from the city, along with a small body of archers, and they rain arrows upon the Lion army. As Akodo Arasou charges, Suko notices that Hotaru is crying, and it takes some time for her to realize that she cries not out of fear, but out of sorrow. She has shot Arasou and felled him. Suko screamed, but she could not hear the sound. Silence shuddered through her body, her stomach, her throat, her heart. Numbness spread down her limbs. Her legs shook, barely holding up as she stumbled. Eventually, after an eternal moment, she stood over what was once the greatest samurai in the Lion Clan. She fell to her knees, choking as her lungs stiffened, every part of her trembling in disbelief. "No!" She clutched at his shoulder, her hands trembling too fiercely to lift him. "This is a dream. A nightmare." Totori rushed to her side and heaved Arasou over. Hotaru's arrow stuck out of his eye, reddish water welling up its shaft, spilling into the other clear, open eye that saw nothing. Shivering, Suko turned from Arasou's dead gaze to Totori, but he did not notice her. With his jaw clenched, the only sign of his pain, he stared at Hotaru. The white-haired samurai wiped away her tears before fleeing with the remaining Crane back into Toshi Ranbo, the gates closing behind them. Arasou passes on the title of clan champion to Akodo Totori. Suko calls for war. In the war pavilion, she alone is filled with rage. This seems to suggest that she cared for Arasou, also considering how she wept on the battlefield. She calls the day's losses an insult to the clan, but the mentor Agetoki states that deaths are the price of battle, and the soldier clan, the Lion, should know that better than most. Motso reminds her that the emperor would not look kindly upon a declaration made without imperial permission. Suko turns to Totori, who is torn between pathways, none of which are hopeful options. What will I do? He wonders. He ultimately decides, I'd say wisely, to first speak with the other Lion family daimyo. Daimyo are the lords, the heads of each family in feudal Japan and fantasy spun from, and seek counsel from the Emerald Emperor. He fears, and a grounded fear, I'd say, that Arasou's death and the title of Lion Clan Champion being passed to a less decisive, albeit older and more careful brother, will sprout a schism within the clan. He instructs Suko to accompany Arasou's body back to the imperial city, and at this time a message from Doji Hotaru arrives. Reading it, Totori finds words of regret, sorrow, and sympathy from the Crane Clan champion, knowing that nothing will ever make up for his loss. Hotaru sympathetically yet solemnly asks in the letter, "Totori-san, what will you do?" Well, now Akodo Totori is more torn up inside than ever. Revenge, regret, despair, confusion, as well as pure passion and grieving, all clash inside him. This is the price of war. To read the full story, follow the link to The Legend of the Five Rings core fiction in the video description below. Then when you have finished, ask yourself, if put in Akodo Totori's place, both hurt and angry over your kin's death, yet now the head of the well-being, the honor, and defense of an entire clan, what would you do?